Hello again and welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. I'm Dave and today I've got a quick lesson about guitar technique. I'm going to be looking at playing harmonics. Harmonics are a particular way of playing a string on the guitar to give it a slightly different voice. So think about playing say the open A string. We get a particular note, we get an A. And what's happening in that case is we've got the string anchored to the guitar body, touching the bridge saddle here, and we've got a nodal point at the nut. So the string's anchored between these 2 points and it's vibrating in a pattern that looks a bit like this, going very, very, very rapidly through that sort of shape, and it gives us an A. Now there's 3 factors that affect the pitch that you get on a note: the thickness of the string, tension in the string, and the length of the string. So the first 2 factors there are kind of fixed. We've got a set amount of tension because this string is tuned to a particular pitch and it's a particular gauge of string. But what we can do is we can shorten the string to give us a different note. So if we fret it at the 5th fret, we'll get a higher note than we've got with the open string. Fret it at the 7th fret, higher again. Fret it at the 12th fret, higher again. That 12th fret is the same as the open string, but it's an octave higher. It's still an A, but it's an octave higher. So each case what we've got is the pattern that looks like this, but in the first example, playing it with the one end is actually just the nut, and in those cases the end of the wave pattern, if you like, is the finger pressing the string down against the fret wire. Now a harmonic is a way of playing the string to give you a different kind of sound. So let's think about this 12th fret. If I fret the string at the 12th fret, get an A. So it sounds like a fretted note. Now to play a harmonic, what we're going to do is we're going to put a finger down very, very lightly on the string. We're not going to push it down against the fret wire. We're not going to have the string touching the neck at all. All we're doing is just touching the string enough, if you like, to stop it vibrating. It's a very, very light touch. And we're going to put the finger down right above the 12th fret. Then, as we strike the string, take the finger off. So what you should be able to hear there is a much more sort of chimey, sort of bell-like quality to it. So that's the fretted note, and that's the harmonic. Fretted, harmonic. Now you might find that when you try and play that, it sounds a little bit dead, a little bit muffled, not quite right. You want a nice, clear, ringing sound, not dead sort of tone like that. If you're sounding a bit dead, a bit flat, it's a sign that your finger's not exactly halfway down the string. Now in theory, the 12th fret is exactly halfway between the nut and the saddle. But if you look at your guitar, you'll find that the saddle isn't exactly straight. It's kind of in a pattern like that, something like that, if your guitar's properly intonated. And this is just a phenomenon of the way the guitar works, the way the stringed instruments work. To get something kind of in tune right the way down the neck, we'll have to make certain adjustments at the bridge to adjust the length of the string ever so slightly. So that 12th fret might be a little bit short or a little bit long on the halfway point. So your finger might not be exactly above the 12th fret, but there or thereabouts, you'll get a nice ringing sound. Now the reason that sounds good when you fret it exactly at the 12th fret, but doesn't sound quite right if you're a little bit off, is because of that length of the string. The fact that you're muting the string, sort of dampening it and stopping it vibrating exactly halfway along its length. If you think that the open string looks like this, and the string fretted at the 12th fret looks like this, what you're actually hearing with a harmonic, where you're just touching the string and stopping it from vibrating at the 12th fret, it's actually something that looks a little bit like this. So what you've got here is, if you like, sort of two notes going on. You've got the note between the 12th fret and the nut, and you've got the note between the 12th fret and the bridge saddles. So the string's able to vibrate very, very freely, but because the length of it is half, you get the note that's an octave above the open string. If you try and play that and you're not quite at the 12th fret, it just sounds dead. If you do it at, say, like the 11th fret, it's dead as well. And that's because the 11th fret isn't an equal division between nut and bridge, whereas the 12th fret is. It's exactly halfway. Now there's some other points on the neck where we've got a division of the string between the nut and the bridge. 7th fret's another good example. Now if I play the A string at the 7th fret, I get an E. If I just touch the string and take my finger off, I get a much higher note. It's actually an E, but it's an octave higher than I would normally get at the fretted note. And that's because what I've got here is a third of the way along the string. So if you get a ruler and you measure the distance between the nut and the 7th fret, and then the 7th fret and the bridge, that distance there is twice that distance there. So you think of playing the open string, looks like this. 7th fret harmonic, it actually looks like this. So we've got one, what we call a nodal point, that's where we're just touching the string at the 7th fret, and we've got this another nodal point along here at the 19th fret. So that gives us the same note. For all I'm playing that harmonic at a different place on the neck, I'm getting the same note because I'm still dividing that A string into thirds and hearing the harmonic, which is the third of the length of the string. So try that for yourself. The further down the neck you go, the shorter the division of the string. So we're going from a half of the string to a third of the string and so on. The harmonics are harder to sound out. This is why I said start on the bass strings, because they tend to make the harmonics ring out a little bit more easily than the treble strings. But as you go down the neck, it will get a little bit harder. And also, if you're kind of new to the technique, you're getting the coordination between picking the string and lifting your finger off. It takes a little bit of time, so you might find you get the odd dead note or whatever. Just practice. It just takes time, but you'll find once you get the technique, it kind of becomes second nature, and it's actually a lot easier than you think it might be. So the next place where we've got quite an interesting division of the string is at the 5th fret. To play a harmonic there by just touching the string above the 5th fret and take my finger off, we get a note that's actually 2 octaves above the open string. So that's an A open string, and that's an A harmonic, 2 octaves above the open string. Reason for that is if you measure the distance between the nut and that nodal point at the 5th fret, it's actually a quarter of the length of the string. So if you think about it, if we play the string halfway along, we'll get 1 octave higher because it's half the length. If we half that length again, we'll go an octave higher. So that's now 2 octaves above the open string. So we've got that 2 octave harmonic at the 5th fret, and we've also got it at the 24th, because if you think the 24th is halfway between the 12th and the bridge. But it sounds different to the fretted note. That's the fretted note at the 24th fret, and that's the harmonic. So you can hear the difference. Now you can't get that 2 octave harmonic at the 12th fret. For all, that's also kind of a quarter of the way along. It's 2 quarters, but 2 quarters is a half, so you get the 1 octave harmonic. So what you're hearing is the string vibrating in a different way between what we call the nodal point, which is where you deaden the string, and the nut, and these induced nodal points along, and the bridge. And these harmonic points exist along the string at, like say, points where it's an equal division along the string. So halfway at the 12th fret, third of the way at the 7th, quarter of the way at the 5th, and so on. And if you map the string out, you've kind of got nodal points at about the 4th fret. There's a harmonic there. At about 3.5, you can just hear a harmonic there, and so on. But as I said before, the further down the neck you go, like the shorter the division of the string, the harder it is to get those harmonics to ring out. And the note that you get at the point where you're playing the harmonic isn't necessarily the same note that you get when you fret the note. So take a little bit of time to practice the technique, and as I say, start with the bass strings first, because they tend to be easier to get the harmonics on. If you're really struggling though, turn on a little bit of overdrive. Overdrive basically just makes the string a little bit more sensitive. So this is the string played at the 12th fret, string played at the 7th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, about 3.5. So you can hear those harmonics. So as we go up the string, you can hear it kind of going a bit dead. And then something that sounds a bit more chimey, it's kind of coming out because you're actually hearing the harmonic. It goes dead again. And we'll get the harmonic in. Okay, so back on the clean channel, what can you use harmonics for? Well, harmonics are just another way of playing a note. You get a little bit constrained with these open string, what we call natural harmonics, because they only occur at certain places on the open string. So you've only got certain notes. You can't readily play like a 13th fret natural harmonic, because that's just not a division of the string. But if you're playing in, say, the key of E, you can kind of hit harmonics and bring harmonics in as part of the your palette of techniques that you can use, rather than just playing straightforward fretless notes or open notes. Put in a harmonic or something to give you a little bit more interest. So those are natural harmonics. There's another way of playing harmonics that we call an artificial harmonic, but I'll talk about those in a future lesson. I'll leave this one here for now. As always, thanks very much for watching. If you liked the video, please click like down there. If you really enjoyed it, please click subscribe. And if you got a question or a suggestion for a future video, then if you go here, you can fill in the form and send any question. I'll try and get around to answering it in a future video. Okay, back next time with a bit more of a talk about harmonics. We'll talk about artificial harmonics. But until then, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.